Hi, my name is Tom. Welcome to my channel. This is another in a series of videos about how to use ChatGPT to do Midjourney prompts. And today what I'd like to talk about is how to uh, improve ChatGPT prompts that you have, or scripts. I might call them scripts just to avoid confusion with prompts being Midjourney prompts. So I'm going to start with a script that was provided by someone else, which I thought was an excellent script. And it was a script about a style of architecture called, I think well, let me take a look to see what it's actually called. Um, so I'm scrolling up here to get to the beginning uh, of, uh, of the thread here. The thread being, it's called Googie, the Googie style. Okay, so someone made public a script they had done on the Googie style, and so I liked the script a lot. Um, it showed I think a good understanding of working with ChatGPT, just the way that it was set up, and its purpose was to come up with prompts that for the Googie style, which is a style of architecture. And so I asked ChatGPT about the script, and it told me about it. I said, I'm not familiar with the Googie style. Please tell me about it and suggest some other styles one might use instead. And so it told me about the Googie style. It said it was common in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and its characteristics, and then gave me some other styles that I might work with. And I thought that the Bauhaus style and the Scandinavian style might be a couple of interesting ones to work with. So I asked it to make a script uh, using the Googie style as a template, but for number four instead. And then this part of the instruction here is quite important. I said, follow the form of the script as much as possible, but just put in the elements for the Bauhaus style instead. The script you write should be comparable in terms of the number of parts it has and the total length. So what's important about this instruction here is that if you don't put this sort of um, guidance in your instruction for ChatGPT, it's very likely to summarize the what it's working with, making it much shorter, and miss out on the details of it. And but giving the instructions like this worked very well. So it came up with a script that followed the same format as the original one. Um, and then, uh, I guess this was for the Scandinavian one. Then I said, do the same thing except for a Bauhaus. So I got two of them and wrote out the script. And then I said, please give me three prompts executing the script. And so it did that. And these were the prompts that it came up with. And um, this, so this is it's kind of a funny format that it used. Imagine prompt. Anyway, here's the prompt. And I thought, well, this is quite large because I guess people have different philosophies for how they do Midjourney prompts. But in my opinion, you want to keep the prompts on the short side. So, um, but I was curious to see what it would look like, just the way that it was. So I ran the prompt, and this is what it came up with. Let's see. I don't. Let me go to Midjourney here. So this is the result of the prompt here, and I'll make this a bit larger. to be easier to see. And they're pretty nice images following the prompt that it came up with. And I asked it to analyze it. So this is a pretty cool thing about that Midjourney now you can upload images and have it analyze what they look like, and then use it to kind of incrementally improve the prompts if you want. Um, so it gave an analysis of the prompt, and I said to it, the prompt seems quite long for Midjourney, as Midjourney has a limited context window. This isn't your fault, as you just executed the script. This was someone else's script who likes longer Midjourney prompts. My concern with these long prompts is that the Midjourney bot tends to leave stuff out. Can you see elements of the prompt that were left out? And so it went through an analysis of everything. And then I said, and this was the key part that I wanted to share with you for the video. So I said, can you try to improve the prompt? The goal in the improved prompt is threefold: to try to bring out the most important elements of the Bauhaus style. Two, because the Midjourney bot prioritizes things which are closer to the front of the prompt, to order the words in the prompt accordingly. So there's the more important things towards the front of the prompt and less important towards the end. And three, try to use an economy of words because the Midjourney bot has limited context. And so it said certainly, and came up with a revised prompt, which is this. And then I ran that prompt and came up with this image here. And you can see a difference in the images in that. So what ChatGPT did was it analyzed the image and came up with things that it thought were missing in the image and emphasized those images. And you can see that what comes back is a cleaner look to it and a lot less crowded, and compared to the original prompt that was used. And then I asked it to compare the two images rather, this newer one and the original one, and it gave the analysis of it. And here's this, excuse me. In summary, while both images portray the Bauhaus influence, it said the new image leans more heavily into the industrial and geometric aspects of the style, with a stricter adherence to the minimalist color scheme, accented with primary colors. It seems to represent the Bauhaus style more explicitly, particularly in its embrace of industrial materials and geometric function design. So then I worked on having it implement the improvements that I gave into the script. So I wanted to show you that. So here's the new script. So up to step 10, it's the same. And then in step 11 was the end of the script originally, and it just said output the prompt, and or display the prompt, I think it said. So this was changed to identify the current prompt as a preliminary prompt. Recognize the need to refine the prompt further to ensure it captures the essential elements of the Scandinavian elegance style within the constraints of the Midjourney bot's processing. So I did two different styles. One was the Bauhaus, and one was the Scandinavian elegance style, is what it called it. And the instructions are the same, except for having the name Bauhaus instead of Scandinavian elegance. And the particular part of the technique that I wanted to draw to your attention, and this works with any sort of ChatGPT prompt. It's not just of course not just Midjourney prompts, but the technique is that you have your set of instructions to come up to your final result. So the final result here is our Midjourney prompts, but it could be something else like an essay, for example, or any task that you might have it to do. So the technique is, rather than stop there, call it like the first draft, okay? Or here we're calling it a preliminary prompt, okay? And it says recognize the need to refine the prompt further, and then that's where you give it additional things to check about what it might have been missing. And that's basically the technique that I wanted to show. So that's a way of improving the results that you get with ChatGPT. Is the first part of the process would be I just ran it as it was, and then I have can you try to improve the prompt? Well, actually, I should go back to here. I said I made my comments about the prompt, which I thought it was rather long. And because it was long, I know from experience that in long prompts, Midjourney tends to leave stuff out. And so I asked it, are there things that were left out? And then it gave, excuse me, it gave an analysis. And then based on that analysis, then I knew what to check for. So I was checking for the things that it said were missing. So that's the part that when I say to reflect, you have the first draft or the preliminary prompt, and then I'm saying, okay, reflect on it, see if you can improve it. And I especially targeted the things that it actually missed before that it pointed out in order as a way to improve the result. And you can use that technique. For example, I've worked with ChatGPT to write essays. And then we do the same thing. You say, okay, this is the first draft of the essay. And then say, okay, how can it be improved? And then it says the things that can be improved. And then I just add that to the end of the instructions for the original essay. Instead of outputting the essay, it says, okay, this is a first draft. And then put in the things that it noticed. So I said, okay, try to improve it. In general, okay, anything you can see to improve it. But in particular, look for these things, because we know that those are things that are likely able to improve by doing that. And I've played around with this concept because you might have what can come to mind would be, well, can you refine it again? And, do like a third draft, or, just keep doing more drafts and get it better and better. And what I found by my experience, and this might change with time as the model, improves and changes, but what I found was that doing a second draft was the ideal amount. That if you went beyond that, because it has trouble, just the way that it's designed, it doesn't have a memory. Processes things sequentially, and so you want to try to structure the things that you have it do in sort of as linear a fashion as you can, and sequential. And if you having more than one rewrite, I found not to be effective, but to have one rewrite seems to work quite well. So that was the purpose of this video, was this to talk about a technique that you can use to improve your ChatGPT prompts by having it do a preliminary or first draft output, and then not have it display that output, but to reflect upon it, and based on things that you've checked against it, just through the process that I showed, you can have it check specifically for those things, then improve whatever it is you're working on, in this case, Midjourney prompts. And that's a nice technique for improving the results that you get. Well, thanks for watching.